Hello, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I am Nick from Australia. Welcome back to the Saturday football review for round 15 of the NRL. I do apologise for getting this review out very late. It is now Sunday afternoon, 4:50. Currently half time in the Newcastle versus North Queensland game. I had a pretty big night last night and I had to work this morning, about 5 hours. So I have had absolutely no time to get the review out. I have seen all three games, and Jesus Christ, you want to talk about games of football, more like games of fucking cricket. Honestly, there was not one game on Saturday that was great at all. So let's get into the review. It might be a quick one because there isn't much to really talk about. So the first game we saw Canberra defeat the Gold Coast, 36 points to 16. And in this game, I thought the Gold Coast started very well. Philip Sammy scoring the first try, and I thought the Gold Coast were good early on, and then Canberra kept building pressure on the goal line with George Williams and Jack White and combining very well. I thought they both played very well. I thought Kotrick had a really strong game. But the one I'm impressed with is Ryan Sutton, the Canberra Raiders lock. He was absolutely outstanding yesterday. I thought he played very well. Um, wasn't a really wasn't a great performance from the Raiders in the first half, but once they got go, excuse me, fucking burping. Um, Once Canberra got going, Gold Coast were no chance, and I thought Canberra just had too much class for the Gold Coast. I thought Whiten had a really good game, probably his best game in a couple of weeks. I thought Ryan Sutton was fantastic. Nick Kotrick had a really solid game. I thought the hooker as well, Tom Starling, he had a really strong game as well. And Canberra were way too good for the Gold Coast. As for the Gold Coast, well, they have their moments, the Gold Coast, but they're not a consistent side yet. And I think they're still maybe 2 years away from being a really good side. Next year, they've been talked up to be really good with getting Fafita and Tino and SESE, but I still think they'll need a bit more than that to be good next year. But they're building the Gold Coast. But as for Canberra, a little bit too good, too much class, and I'm going to give the Gold Coast Titans performance here a 4.5 out of 10, and I'm going to give the Canberra Raiders performance here a solid 7 out of 10. My top three on ground, I'm going to go number 3, I'm going to go with Nick Kotrick. Number 2, I'm going to go with Jack Whiten. And number 1, I'm going to go with Ryan Sutton. I thought he was outstanding. I was very impressed with his performance yesterday against the Gold Coast, and well done to the Canberra Raiders on a very nice win. They're trying to get to that top 4, so a game against the Roosters in a couple of weeks might decide the top 4. Now on to the next game. The Roosters 38, the West Tigers 16. Now I didn't expect the Roosters to win this game comfortably. I tipped the Roosters. I knew they'd win, but I didn't think they'd win by much. When the Roosters led 20-0 early, I went, fuck, this could be anything. Ikavali scored first try, and then it was Brett Morris, Josh Morris, Brett Morris. And at that point, I'm looking at the scoreline and I'm watching the game and I'm thinking, what the fuck? 20-0 at Leichhardt, are you serious? And then the Tigers started the second half very well with Jacob Little scoring and Adam Dewey scoring about 7 minutes later. And at that point, Roosters led 20-12, and I'm thinking, gee, maybe the Tigers are a slim chance of a late comeback here. Maybe they could pull off one of the best comebacks of the season. And then with about 15 minutes to go, Drew Hutchison scored a try. And then Joseph Manu scored not long after that. And then the Roosters were up. And then pretty much on the bell, David Nofaluma scoring. But, yeah, look, I thought the Morris brothers played very well. I thought Drew Hutchison had a decent sort of game in the halves. The Tigers are going to be, the Tigers are going to be questioned about a lot of things, I think, The Roosters had a lot of players out. There was no Keary, there was no Cordner, there was no Crichton, there was no Radley, there was no Verrills. Yet the Tigers still couldn't match it with the Sydney Roosters, which is a worry because going forward, the Tigers are expected to do well and they're supposed to be a team that's on the up. But after watching them against the Roosters, they look like a team that's just going to be staying around where they are. They've been doing the same shit since 2011. You know the West Tigers haven't played finals football since 2011. It is now 2020. It's just not good enough for the West Tigers. And, they're a club that doesn't have a lot of money compared to the other clubs like the Roosters and the Storm. the Tigers have always been a team that's been focused on their attack. They love throw the ball around, but lately they've been a team that's been absolutely boring and they've been absolutely shithouse. So, I mean, I like watching the Tigers play when they're on, but when they're off, they are very hard to watch. And, you know, the West Tigers, for mine, their season is now over. You can put a red pen straight through the West Tigers. Their season's over. As for the Roosters, they'll keep on marching on. They'll finish probably in the top 6, somewhere in the top 6. But, yeah, as for the Tigers, you can put a red pen through them. They're not playing finals football this year. They are done for the year. I'm going to give the West Tigers performance here a 4 out of 10. I thought they were terrible. Played well in the second half for about 15 minutes, and then they got blown away. I'm going to give the Roosters performance a 7.5 out of 10 because they had a lot of key players out, yet they still played very well, and they scored 38 points, which is good. My top 3 on ground, very tough because there was a lot of good players in this game. I'm going to go number 3, I'm going to go with Josh Morris. Number 2, I'm going to go with Brett Morris. And number 1, my man of the match here, I'm going to go with Siasiwa Takiaho. Still playing very well, Takiaho. And, yeah, so let's get on to the last game. Now, this is just ridiculous. South Sydney, 56. Manly, 16. What do I say about Manly? Well, I reckon they're a bunch of fucking imposters, honestly. Watching them last night against South Sydney, probably the most embarrassing performance I've ever seen from the Manly Seagulls. And when I was growing up as a kid watching rugby league, they were always a team that was in the top 4 contenders, making grand finals. But lately, they have just been shithoused. That was the most embarrassing performance I've ever seen from a Manly side. I've been watching football for a very long time, and I've got to say that is one of the worst performances I've ever seen Manly play. It probably is, to be honest. At half time, it was 38-0. 38-0. Now, everyone knows how mad I get when the Cowboys get beat by big score lines. And if you go back to the game when we played the Tigers and we're down 32-0 at half time, I nearly walked out. I think I was streaming the game. And this here, 56-16, lost. Honestly, I don't know what to say about Manly. They were awful. They were outplayed. They were outgunned. They had no effort, Manly. They reminded me of the Brisbane Broncos last night. That's how bad Manly were. They were absolutely awful. And as for the Rabbitohs, they were terrific. Probably the best I've looked all year, even though Manly were really, really bad. But you got to give credit to the Rabbitohs. I feel like a fucking idiot for tipping Manly. I've tipped every game right this round except for this game. And, you know, disappointing for Manly. Their season's over for mine. I can't see them making the 8. Without Tom Trbojevic, they're fucked. They can't win a game. They're not going to win another game without him. And until he comes back, they won't win another game, Manly. They are struggling. They got Melbourne next week. They'll probably get beat by probably about 30 or 40 in that one. As for Souths, huge game against Parramatta Thursday night. That's a huge game, that one. And Souths were outstanding last night. Manly were fucking garbage. I'm not going to talk about this game because it's not even a game. It's like watching cricket. I'm going to give the Manly Seagulls performance last night a 1 out of 10. I don't give a fuck if I score 16 points. I really don't care. And I'm going to give South Sydney's performance last night a 8.5 out of 10. They were terrific. My top 3 on ground, very hard to pick because there were so many great players. I'm going to go... Oh, jeez. Christ, this is very tough. There's so many great players, so I do apologise if I left anyone out. I'm going to go number 3. I'm going to go with Campbell Graham. Number 2, I'm going to go with Latrell Mitchell. And number 1, my man of the match, I'm going to give it to Adam Reynolds. I thought he was terrific last night. Anyway, guys, I'm getting out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed the Saturday football review. I do apologise for it coming out so late. I should have announced it on Instagram, but I didn't. But this review should be out by 5:20, 5:30. The Sunday football review will be coming out very soon as well. And the Team of the Week video will be coming out tonight as well. So 2 more videos to come out tonight, guys. Anyway, I'm getting out of here. I'm going to go watch the second half of the Knights and Cowboys. Come on, you Cowboys. But I'm getting out of here. I think it's 6-2 Knights. So hopefully the Cows can come back. I'm getting out of here, guys. Thanks for watching. And I will see you guys in the next one.